Hi, I'm Mike from Pierce County Search and Rescue, and I'm here to talk to you about how to use your map and compass. We're going to talk about the parts of the map, how to plot a USNG point, land features, and determining a bearing and distance. Alright, here is a typical map, and what I want to point out is some features on your map. So the very first thing is you've got USNG or UTM grid coordinates here. They go all the way across or all the way around the border of the map, and they allow you to be able to give a coordinate for your location. Down here at the bottom, you'll see there's a scale, 1 in 24,000 scale. You'll also see that they tell you that 1 inch equals 2,000 feet, so that's good for measuring distance. Over in the corner here, we have north and magnetic north, and the difference between them is 15 degrees east. We know it's east because it's over to the right. If it were to the left, then it would be 15 degrees west. Okay, here we have that same map, and we're going to talk about actually plotting points. So here I've highlighted the 96,000 and the 97,000 easting lines. So our point is going to be somewhere between those two lines, and our northing lines 80 to 81,000. So the intersection in this box right here is going to be where our point is going to end up being. Now, taking a look at where we plot our point, right smack in the middle, and you can see that I've put a line there and a line there as a reference. So between 96,000 and 97,000, we have 1 kilometer, and the same going north and south. So 96,500 would be right there, and that's pretty much right on that point. So 96,500 is our easting. Now, likewise, 80,500 is our northing. We always read left to right first, then bottom to top. Let's plot a different point now, and I'm going to plot this point right here at the sewage disposal plant, and note that that is between the 95 and 96 lines and between the 81 and 82 lines in this box that I'm drawing right now. So I'm going to make my 500 mark right about there. So we notice, first of all, that our easting is pretty easy. It's right on the 500 mark, so 95, 500, and our northing is going to be 81. And if we split the difference here and we say, okay, that's 750, so it's basically halfway between 750 and 1,000, so that's another 125. So we're going to call that 875. It doesn't have to be perfect. If you're close, you're going to be within a couple hundred feet of where you need to be. So don't sweat if your approximating is a little off. This next slide talks about an important concept, which is contour lines and figuring out the contour interval. So first, take a look at these numbers here, 5400 and 5600. Note that they're on dark contour lines. Those are major contour lines. And we note that there is 200 feet between 5400 and 5600, as noted here in our math equation. Now, between those two lines are a series of fainter lines. 1, 2, 3, 4. Those are minor contour lines. And there are 5 lines between 5400 and 5600. So if we look at the bottom of our math here, 200 feet, there's 500 lines, 5 lines between 5400 and 5600. So there's an interval of 40 feet. We can check that by going 5400, 5440, 5480, 5520, 5560, 5600. On this slide, we're going to talk about different land features that we might run across when we're operating out in the field and when we're looking at our maps. So first of all, here is a ridge. The ridge is up on top of these steep contour lines. And we can see that it's up on top of this plateau, and it actually comes down around like that. The next one that we want to show are these two peaks. We can see the top of a peak here and the top of the end of the ridge right there. So there are our two peaks, and in between them is a saddle. So the way that would look would be something like, here's a peak, here's a depression and another peak, and in through here is the saddle. Next is a draw. Draws are kind of tricky in that generally they've got water running through the middle of them, but not always. So let's find another draw. So here's a draw right here. And you can tell because it makes the contour lines make kind of a V impression. And that's typically where the water would flow. So those are the land features that I think we want to focus on when we're taking a look at our map and when we're relating to the features that we're seeing in real life. Alright, this slide is going to approximate how to plot a bearing on your map. So to start with, I've got a point here at Carter Falls, and I've got a point here at Lost Lake. What I want to do is I want to travel from Carter Falls to Lost Lake. I want to know what bearing I need to travel in, and I want to know about how far it's going to be. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a line between the 2 points. That's going to be important because the next part is I'm going to bring my compass up and I'm going to line it up so that that line travels right along the flat edge of the compass. Now inside the compass, inside the bezel here, you're going to see a circle and there's going to be lines in it. Those lines need to orient north, and when they orient north so that they are parallel with this line, with these lines right here, which act as our true north lines, then you'll be able to read your bearing right there at the top of the bezel. Next thing we want to do is we want to measure the distance between here and here. We can do that either by laying out the compass and measuring the distance, and sometimes the compasses have the appropriate scale on them, sometimes they do not. Other ways, we could take a separate sheet of paper and we could mark off that distance, and then we line it up between here and here, and we'll determine about how far that's going to be. So we can come up with a determination on the distance, and that will help us so that as we're traveling from Carter Falls to Lost Lake, we'll know approximately when we can expect to hit Lost Lake. This is the end of our presentation. We hope that you've enjoyed it. We've tried to present to you the parts of a map, the USNG UTM grid coordinate system, how to compute a coordinate using the USNG UTM grid coordinate system, a little bit about computing contour intervals, and some land features, and lastly, how to plot a bearing and a distance on your map. Thank you for watching.